Yo, what's up, bro? Go see artist and go see Tengani, that's me.
It's Mbulelo Katis over here, man. My grandparents have been on TV since the 80s and stuff, so I grew up with that thing in front of me, and I just wanted to join them, and then that's how it happened, you know what I mean? Yeah.
When I started, it's something that I wanted to do, you understand, because I grew up watching a lot of TV, watching a lot of movies, goes to technical and everything, so really it's what I wanted to do. I got my first gig in high school and everything, grade 8 or something. So ever since then, so it was a bit of a struggle and hassle, but nevertheless, that didn't hold me back. Yeah.
I started 2005, so I was nine at the time. You know, primary was like an extramural activity, I think, so it didn't really interfere with my schoolwork until probably grade 11 or so, because that's when things I started getting a little bit, When I was much younger, I didn't really have access to the money as much. It was a case of, something, come to us and then we'll say yes or no, you know what I mean? Like, Mom, can I buy a PlayStation? Okay, fine. Yeah, so
you can imagine when you're in high school, it's the coolest thing. Everybody's trying to watch it.
You're the cool kid.
You're the cool kid, you understand? Everyone yo, it's that guy, it's that guy. So it does have its benefits, you understand, and everything, because we all in a package. It's high school and everything. It's not like the real world whereby it's varsity or whatnot. Nobody gives a damn about thing. Everybody knows who's who in high school and everything. So
Another thing, when we started this thing, it wasn't about how many followers you have for you to get a role. It was about you going to the audition and your talent speaking for itself. And now things have changed. So I think for us it's difficult to, that transition of that era where your work speaks for itself. Now it's like all of a sudden meaning push it social media for me to be able to get a role, and I think adjusting to that also is quite a challenge, man. I won't even lie.
Yeah, so
Sanibonani, welcome to Daily Thetha. Kini waga Shandu, and namhlanje sibheka osazwayo abancane, trying to find out exactly ukuthi kunjani kuba osazwayo at the early age. Baphila kanjani bona? Bayakwazi ukuphila njengayo yonke ingane adlale emgwaqeni, or kunama restriction ukuthi just because now you're on TV or sikubona emaphepheni khona indlela ethize omele uyilandele, and the pressure as well yabantu. Kanti okuyena otole ngolimi lezandla ke usiswethu omdala, usisi Fortune Madlala, uyena lo mbona escreenini sakho. Otherwise Nicolette, mokhula wena ubufuna ukuba istar usasemncane?
Oh no, my parents were not going to allow that. Because business generator cars, TV baby, they used to come on only at 7 o'clock.
I see.
I didn't see child stars on TV.
Yeah, well, ile generation yakudala ne.
Dumelang nakena Nicolette wa Mashile ngwana wa kwa Posh Pakrish Mapulane. As you've already seen on the Insta, Kini so lovely le khona to level the child stars. But let's get into the conversation. Before we get into it, let's welcome our studio audience.
Well, asqala on your side, Nicolette, sizukuthi abantu bathini about itopic yethu namhlanje.
Akutomeka sesi, perhaps when you used to watch TV, unlike the rest of us, if you know any child stars and you remember them, baling memorable ko wena ba ko South Africa.
Ke hopola dumelang ke na Olorato, ke hopola bo Mandisa, and hona lo o Dago so ale month I think go your TV Rulzani or something. So yeah, I still remember them, but I don't know gore no yana ba ko kae and what exactly they're doing.
Are you interested ka bophelo ba bona gore what are they busy with right now?
Of course, I'm very interested in what they're doing right now because they grew up as stars. So I would want to see them one day on the spotlight again. So I'm very interested in their lives.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting is that we're very entitled to child stars because by the we watch TV, you come back from school, those who watch TV of course,
yep.
I didn't, but and I think that's why we're so entitled to we want to follow them everywhere they go.
There was a time when umsawa eshada, and abantu abaningi babacabanga ukuthi wayamshaya eshada ngibusesengane, because we still remember the yes at the 10 years. But let me come to you, Donald, next to me. Donald, when you one of the abantu abakhule befuna ukuba ama superstars, kwenzakalani kuwena?
Actually, what happened is that I couldn't get as the topic says, a young star.
Yeah.
I couldn't be a young star because I did not have parents to support me to be there, or a family member who would give me a wet go to say, when you want this, just tell me, I'll get you there so that you can go furthermore.
But let me ask the question, Donald. Yini le eyakwenza ukuthi ufuna ungena ube child star early? Is it because impilo yakho nibona glamorous ngaleyo ndlela, or bekuyi talent? What was happening in your mind?
No, actually, when you have a talent, and at school at the same time.
Yeah.
ikupha isikhathi ukuthi like ukhona ukwenza something ewithandayo and ngapha you have to concentrate ngoba in life you have to be distracted to concentrate.
Beli yini talent lakho?
It was singing.
Awucule ngiba.
Yeah, ucula ufuna ukuzwa.
Okay. Mthande umuntu wakho.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
Let's go to social media. Nicolette is talking
Yes.
about this.
Bongani, before I ask you this question, it's unhealthy for them as they grow older. They are facing a lot of pressure from friends, family, and everybody out there because they're always in the spotlight. Fame and fortune is always expected from our young celebs. Bongani, when you become Motswadi, would you be happy for them to become a child star? And would you encourage them?
Honestly, I will encourage my child to become a star because there's privileges in life that he will come into it in terms of if you become a star in an early age, it's easy for you to become a star when you are older. There will be opportunities that you will get. I'm also making his future bright as well. But
how will you help umtanako to handle rejection? Because in the entertainment industry, rejection is thing and ingata. And I don't think Khorongwana over 10 years is a type of person who can handle rejection.
Honestly, you have to teach your child to correspond with the media in terms of your child has to know there's people that will bad mouth them in terms of talking bad about them. They have to take the pressure. Being in the media, you have to know the do's and the don'ts of life. And when people reject you, you have to know it's not the end of the world.
I wonder how tough it is for a child. I still don't know the do's and don'ts of the media space.
I just want to pick up from your point, Nicolette, and come to this side with Jody next to me. Jody, how important is a role yabazali to help abantwana babo ukuthi ba identify their talent and help them ukuthi ba achieve it as well?
For me personally, it's important to know what you want in life and not to have people telling you what to do. It has to come from within. I mean, if you feel that you want to do something, then go for it.
What about parents that they now living a dreams through the kids?
You get parents that does that. And I find it very wrong because your child is growing up living out your dream. So in the end of the day, you're damaging your own child because maybe that child wanted to do something else.
What a point right there, Nicolette.
I think it's interesting that she mentions, you know, doing something else. We've got child stars, the likes of Dr. Musa Mtombeni, who was on YoTV. Most of us expect them to end up in the entertainment industry because we think that abakena skolo because they've been in the industry. Why do you think is that? Why do we want to dictate the child stars?
If sizo tshela abantwana ukuthi benze ini sina mhlawumbe abazali kunezinto sobezibhekile for umntwana ukuthi umntwana anga right for 1 2 3 and sikhohle ukuthi abantwana thina abantwana like sinezinto esizifunayo imizwa yethu abayikhathaleli kangako bafuna senze lokho kufuna ibona like uthola umntwana uyambona ukuthi ekhaya lo mntwana lo ne talent lokuthi angaba anga actor or angacula ngenza ini but akayithola support from ekhaya like bam discourage akekho umuntu omsupportayo and then bazokuthi hambe esikolweni ube unesi what if awufuna ukuba unesi akusi calling yakho uba unesi because wonke umuntu une calling yakhe umuntu nomuntu ulandelela into ayibona ukuthi right for yena inganye ufunda esikolweni uba unesi kumbe udokotela but at the end it doesn't wake up for me.
For you. All right, maybe Kini, we can perhaps look at some more social media. Molly Marcus Kohler, I don't find it a problem to be a child star to an adult, but one thing that they need to learn is that media is a short-term career and they shouldn't focus on media only. They must at least try to have a second solid option.
I think Eka now as well, you can give us a call. It's 011-339-1315 or find us kuzo zonke inkundla zokuxhumana. The hashtag is Daily Thetha. Sambeni siyokhokhela itolo. Siyabuya after this.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Our child stars from South Africa. Raba celebrate, but most we're also looking at some of the challenges that they go through. We can imagine as when you're an adult, these children have had to balance skolo, mereko, fame, chelete. It's really a lot of things. On the couch, we've got Sibusiso Msawawa Mdlamini. Hey, yes. Msawawa lo. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Zonhleka 24 hours.
Sure. I mean, he shot into fame at the age of 10 years. Not even one of, the only youngest recording artist in South Africa. And then we also have Nkosinathi Zambia Zwane. How Cortez. Young Chinese. Welcome to Daily Thetha.
Sure. Sanibona.
Let's jump straight into the conversation. Msawawa, 10 years. Unaganang, being a recording artist at that time.
I was 7. Ngale as a dancer, you know. So the 3 years of that gap, I was dancing, you know, and I met some Zambia, you know. I was taking as a performer, you know. Said no, please, dance in your show, you know.
Was it Scoplas?
Yeah, Scoplas. Okay. So it's Scoplas, you know. So from then, you know, like it's by the grace of God, you know. By the age of 10, was move from Durban to Joburg, you know, and very it was difficult, you know. You know, going to live in Abazala Basha.
You left Abazal back at the age of
10.
Of 10. Sure, imagine.
Gonzim, let's jump in Zambia on this one.
Wait.
My scream about my child stars, abantu abaningi, especially kids, that they look at the money issue. You have money, you have this and that. How does it work? Do you get your own money and you can spend it, or Abazal comes in and control that money?
Well, keep in mind that if you are a child star, normally you are a minor. You know what I mean? So basically, you are unable to do as you please. You know, I mean, speaking from my experience, I became popular at the age of 11. You know, and obviously I'm a minor, you know, still staying under my parents' roof. And whatever that I made from my shows, royalties, etc., was taken care of by my parents to an age where I'm able to do it myself, you know. So yeah, man, I think, and the food is very compulsory, you know, because how can a child at the age of 7 like Msawa is going to be able to handle even 2,000 rands, you know what I mean? So that's where parents come in.
And how you were balancing and just trying to make it at school, also in the entertainment industry.
Yes. Yo. You know, because, you know, going to school, we are schooling, mele homework. After homework, mele uhambe studio.
You record.
2 hours. After recording, you go to an event.
Sure.
You understand? And you have to wake up again next day. You know. But you know, just you know, to Nimrod Kosi and Oscar Mlangeni, you know, because they were always there for us, you know, best gata, you know, we ended homework, you know, so check, you know. So njengasho ukuthi sabane inhlanhla, you know, ukuthi sibe kwizandla zabantu, you know, that's you know. Yeah, but it was hard.
Let's look at exposure, guys. You know, when guys get into industry, inning lava, I won't say all of them. They flood into you. At you guys, you are like 10, 11. How do you control that? Because there might be even amantombazan that are older than you. They just want to come to you guys.
Oh yeah. Man, you know, I think I was saved. I can only speak for myself in that regard. You know, when you're a kid, you know, they don't really pay attention, because you don't really, you know, hit the spot. You know, you
don't hit the spot. I mean, you did a song with
choice of words.
You don't really, you don't actually reach that certain level, you know what I mean? Excuse my language, but what I meant was you're not really grown enough to match or to be in that era. So but then again, it always goes back to how you raised also. You know, I mean, I'll always be grateful for my parents, you know, for the kind of principles that were instilled in me. You know, yokusabizi into respect, you know, into balegile, you understand. So I think from what I've learned, the values and everything that one was instilled in me, I think it helped build the person I am. And even as a kid, you know, it wasn't easy for me to do as I please.
And then the transition into adult life. How was that? What were people expecting from you guys?
Okay, just to add, ne?
Yeah.
Zambia, if amantombazane when we are young. I mean, amantombazane besithanda, you know, but as
now
besithanda as the young stars, you know,
yes.
But not so mhlambe besithanda as ukuthi we are people, like guys that maybe they can date, you know. Nathi sibathanda futhi osisibethi,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So your adult life, transitioning into the adult life, how was that?
You know, because what happened, my parents, batek mina, mase 18 years of age. Whatever money, you know, you know, then they will give me.
Okay.
Then ngwazi ukuqhubeka nempilo, you know.
Okay.
So ngisebengiqeda my matric, then they sat down with me, you know, but okay, you know, this is what you made, right? And then ngathi no, yazini, let me go back at eThekwini, you know, and invest in a business,
nice.
You know. So give me, you know, ukukhula ngikhule kahle having like engena business food. You know?
So maungena business, you're talking about other things, even Msababa's corner that you had.
Yes, my club, yeah.
And Zambia, when in terms of money,
sure.
Imali yakho wayenza.
You know, I don't really like engaging into my finances, but what I can tell you, I've had a very interesting career and other privileges also, you know, away from the entertainment business side of things. And I would just like people to know me for me. You know, what I do behind the scenes is just personal stuff.
But you know why I'm asking that question? It's because abantu abaningi, we've seen celebrities, especially even abancane nabadala, where they were like big, but abanye babo kuphela kusingazange ukuthi kwenzakala kanjani. Maybe it's a bit of advice to others as well. But while you're making money, there are certain things that you need to invest on.
Well, I did something very good. I bought my family a house.
Oh, lovely! Wow, lovely.
You know, at the age of 12.
Sure.
We were young told. So, I mean, from there, blessings were just flowing in. You know. Yeah, man, and I think it's very important. They need to get more knowledge about finances. You know, I'm currently doing finance literacy alongside Unimrod Nkosi.
Nice.
With some insurance company where we go and speak to people without knowledge on how to handle their finances. So we go there and speak. So I've had a privilege to also do that. So in that regard, I'd safely say it's important, Uti, if you're earning something, you know, put it aside for a rainy day. Whether it's 1,000 rand or 100 rand, you know, if you're smart with it, it can grow bigger than that.
You perform at my family gatherings. Do they expect you to perform at family gatherings? My family always asks me to do my poems, guys. So do you guys get treated differently at family gatherings?
Yeah, well, I mean, we people's people, you know, and I mean, if we needed to come and entertain where we needed, we go, you know. I mean, Msawa, you know, is a good dancer, isn't it? So, I mean, we can always reach out and do what we can do.
Nice. And I think what's interesting about the two of them is the brotherly love. And you can see it even when they're sitting here, Kurai. Intwana yam lena.
Waqala umkhiphe esikhwameni uMzambile manje asangena esikhwameni Msawa.
Uphuma ngomani.
So, ma cooler box. Cooler box with my eyes.
It's a very interesting conversation. We're looking back at some of the child stars, I mean, their songs literally Christmas after Christmas. But that's what we're talking about. Please stay with us after the break.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Sakhuluma about abantwana abakhulele ebusweni bethu, be it on TV, be it on radio or on papers as well. Baba Masters besebancane. The challenges ababhekana nabo as well. We do have on the couch Angazi noma ngisho usisi manje. Khanya Mkhanyisa, welcome to Daily Thetha.
Thank you very much.
As well as Mbulela Katise, the actor, welcome to Daily Thetha. Let me jump straight into it, Kanya, because for you, Sigbone from your TV and now acting and everything, don't you find Uguti maybe people still look at you as a child?
Oh, definitely. And even the transition from me being a presenter to acting, it took forever for me to get a good role because I was always seen as the YoTV girl. So I had to work on my craft, and that's when I started booking work as an actress.
Because some people would think it's easy for you because you've been on TV,
exactly.
So you're just going to walk in.
That's exactly what they used to do. Even at auditions, I'd have other kids like, oh, why is she here? She's obviously going to get it. And it doesn't work like that.
Now it's funny,
you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly. Mbulelo, talk us through being a child star, but how are your parents treating you? How difficult is it for them to raise a child star?
I think one advantage my parents had is the fact that my grandparents were in the industry in like the 80s.
Way before.
You know what I mean? So they kind of saw as easy, although the industry was different back then, but I think they kind of had an idea of, okay, medicine and so they instilled that thing in me, yoguti agnabu celebrity la endlini.
Yeah.
La endlini, you're gonna do your chores, you're gonna do this, you're gonna behave, you're gonna, you know. So I think that helped me a lot in terms of, you know, never getting a big head, yoguti. As in, TV, it kept me grounded a lot.
You said your grandparents were big in the suburb?
Yes. Yeah, so my grandmother, Frances Ndlazilwane Kamalake, so I think you would see her in a lot of adverts, Kellogg's, Skim Sami, like there's so many things, many things that they've done, yeah.
You know, something I mentioned Mzambia, at some point, utenge umuzo sekago. And as umtomnani and usutenga isn't as jengaleza. Does ama roles ashinje khaya ukuthi phela baba imina phela waqala lokho?
Okay. Now my family dynamic is completely different. I was raised by a single parent and I'm an only child, so it was just us two. So we've always had a relationship with my mom, even with her moving from the Eastern Cape to Johannesburg. Siyathetha about everything. Are you ready to move? Do you want to move? And even when I decided to audition for YoTV, I said to her, "Ba, this is what I want to do." And she's like, "Are you sure? You're so shy." And I was like, "Yeah, this is what I want to do." So we've always had that dynamic, but siyathetha about everything because it's just us two. We only have each other.
So you were uprooted from the Eastern Cape to Joburg when you got your job.
Yes.
How was that for you?
Well, we moved to Joburg with my mom. She just wanted a better life for the both of us.
Yeah.
And then I remember this one time we went to the Rand Easter show and I saw the YoTV kids and I was just like, I should be on that stage. I was like, I should be on that stage. So then when they announced that they were having public auditions, I was like, I'm there. And my mom was like, are you sure?
How old were you?
When I booked the job, I was 15. So I was way older than these guys. So I was able to think for myself and be like, that's what I'm doing and that's what I want.
But still, I mean, Kaka 15 is still young. You're going through puberty, adolescence stage, rejection. Did you expect that you could be rejected? Were you rejected before you actually booked the gig?
Okay, so I booked the gig and then now moving on to other work.
Yes.
Then I'd get rejected, especially with the acting. My acting auditions, I used to like cry to my mom and be like, oh, why don't I book that job? And because my mom and I have always been close, she's just always been like, I mean, you've booked other work before, so it's not to say you don't have the talent. Maybe this one just wasn't for you.
Let's come to the pressure that you guys and now. You are young, and now the spotlight is on you. And how's that pressure?
I think what I always try to do growing up is making sure this thing is just a job. Like always reminding myself, okay, as much as I'm in the limelight or anything, but as much as my friends would go to soccer practice after school, I'm gonna go and act. So I think that helped me to keep a group of people around me. But I'm asking this question because now, if it's a group of friends and you are out there doing any other thing, you must know. People say, it's no longer about whoever done is it. It's like you because you are in a spotlight. And how do you deal with that? I think our biggest pressure in the industry, and not just about child stars, but being in the industry, is perception.
Yeah.
That's what kills us a lot. And the guy too. Kona le perception lena where you can do something about it. Maybe bati why you want drive EPM, driving motor so when no, I choose not to. You can deal with that one. Then kona le, let me make an example for you. Let's say ngihamba nabangani bami. For some other reason, I'm not driving, so Mshile driver, and maybe he's over the limits.
Yeah.
So I'm a traffic copy. So I'm a traffic copy, they were going to follow protocol until they see, oh, oh, it's that guy. Okay, now let's change what we're going to do. Let's take them to the station. So Bonisu Masbugu, hey, Pegas Bambeba. Manje, man figure lapo, oh, go to police station.
This story sounds very true.
Yeah, I'm taking it from something that's happened to me. Abo Masbugo in. All of a sudden, it's a trend aware. It's no longer a good headline. Mang's friends. It's Mang was caught in a DUI scandal. They don't know the friends. I can say they know you. So now you're caught up in that. So I think that's why in Ishuguti, there's always two sides to this thing. Kona layer that you can deal with, and kona layer well you just have to. I don't know. You just have to flow with it. I guess it is what it is.
It's hard.
It's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, they teach us you know what you're gonna go through is into. Some things you won't be able to do anything about it. Some things you will, and you just have to keep strong, keep it moving. You know, that's just how.
So
it
you
is.
just wait for it until it dies out.
Yeah, because the thing is, the minute you start speaking, defensive, always trying to cover up something, or in. So
I'm curious, Kanya. I mean, South Africa. Your first story in the newspaper, where you like, what?
Yeah, and my first story only came much later because I'm a very private person. I don't actually even like going out. So by virtue of being that person, I guess I wasn't really exposed to, like, if I didn't need to be at an event, I'm not just going to go to an event. I'm still like that. My first couple of stories were obviously like relationship based because there's nothing else you can fault me on. You're not going to say I was in trouble at work or in my personal life. It'll be like, oh, was Kanya dating so and so? So it was just stuff like that you kind of can handle. All
right. Let's take calls as well. We do have Ogushle from Mshabelingana. Ogushle, welcome to Daily Thetha. You have a question for Kanya?
Ngikona ukubuza kusisukanye nakucela from scandal or something like that. Ngibuza when it comes to personal life yakhe plus acting ne. Mhlambe lesi u-actor iphathi yokuthi sisikhanye kissing on TV. When it comes to usufika endlini udila kanjani isimo esikanjalo mhlambe ukuthi ukade ukhisa someone emsebenzini usufika endlini mhlambe usunomuntu wakho into kanjani, how you compromise i-business acting plus umsebenzi.
Okay, Ogushle, Bugela TV bazokuphendula njengamanje kissing scene.
Thanks for your question, Ogushle. When you're an actor, your partner should know that this is what you do. I just always feel like that for me, it wouldn't be like a proper relationship if I was ever with someone who tried to restrict what I needed to do as a performer. So I guess I don't even know if you have to have that conversation and sit someone down and be like, because I'm an actor, I might have to kiss someone. It's just like, it comes with it. If anything, I can maybe try and prepare you for when it's gonna play, or okay, today I'm reading my script and my scenes for the next day and I might have to kiss so-and-so, and that's that. It shouldn't be like open for discussion, but how do you feel about that? No, I don't ask you how you feel about if you're gonna be, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Perhaps let's bring it back to child stars. If you can take the mark down to put Mzansi. In your career, like especially when you were still young, were you ever exposed to things that you knew as umntwana, I should not be playing around this kind of space, maybe like drugs, a lot of alcohol?
Yeah, not a lot of alcohol though, but I was once, I made friends with...
Your microphone.
Okay, sure. There was a time in my life when my career was very hectic, you know, so you make friends with the wrong crowd. You know, you start going to clubs, you know, and obviously there you meet different people who do different things, you know what I mean? You'll be exposed to a whole lot of stuff, alcohol, etc., you know? But I think it also goes back to where you're raised. You know what I mean? I mean, when I'm a principles of a guy or nekaya imapi, you know, and you know the consequences, you know, after making such a stupid decision.
Can I ask a question before we go to a break in Would you allow umtanaki if they want to start singing at the age of 9?
Yes, I would. But I would be his or her guardian angel because I'm now clued up with the ins and the outs, you know, the dangers of the industry, etc. Yeah, so I would, obviously under my guidance.
All right, cool. We're going to take a quick ad break again, and when we come back, we carry on the conversation. Celebrate but also and get a better understanding. Please do stay with us.
Welcome back to Daily Thetha. Sakuruma about child stars namhlanje, and when I find out and zoom in as well ukuthi lezi zinto abakhuluma ngazo ukuthi bazibonile industry yini kahle kahle. On the couch we do have Usiso Clementine Dlamini, who's a psychologist, as well as Mapalo Mako, who's a financial planner. Guys, welcome to Daily Thetha. Before ngibele kunina siya break in uMzambia said something, but because of his khatha ngwazanga ukuthi ngikubuze ko uthela kunezinto ozibonile ezingezinhle ku industry.
Sure.
Yini?
Obviously drugs, you know, I mean, guys we grew up seeing, guys we grew up looking up to dying of things like HIV and AIDS, you know, you name it, you know. So those things are a bit daunting, you know, I mean, for...
If you talk about drugs, because I'm just going to go to our drugs, we always hear stories with the industry, there are drugs, and sometimes we allegations. How serious is the issue of drugs in the industry?
Actually, it's very serious, and it happens with different generations. You know, it's been there, it's still going on, and we really need to, you know, look into it as an industry as a whole, you know. And I mean, I've seen things like 20 years back that are exciting the kids that are in the industry right now, and little do they know, Guti, you know, sooner or later, start today, no more tomorrow. You know, due to things like that. So we need classes, you know, even record labels must take the liberty to reach out, you know, to their stars and speak to them about these issues,
Were you ever offered drugs?
Yeah, I was.
And
what age?
Oh, goodness. I think I was 19.
19.
19.
Wow.
Touch the microphone. No, because there was a story about you on Daily Paper as well that was linking you with ama drugs as well. It just some allegations, but at what age now about offering ama drugs?
I think besangfunda matric. You know, because you know mase high school, you know, there are guys that come to the school, you know, totally abanye badayisa izinto even ngaphandle, you know. But you know, if you are someone othandazayo, you know, if you pray, uNkulunkulu always, you know, it takes you away from these things, you know.
So if people offer you drugs, you must pray.
No, like if no, like when you know you're a spiritual being, you know, if you are someone that prays, you know, it's not easy for you, you know, to be tempted in those things,
All right. Clementine, any comments? I mean, as a psychologist, they're kids, Givana, these people. How do we prepare them and how do we get them to say no to drugs?
I think the question that you asked as to how do we prepare them is a very difficult one. But I think I want to put the emphasis on the parental system. It's very important for parents of child stars to set boundaries. You know, so that roles are not conflicted in the home, and they are the ones who will be responsible for protecting their children as well. Because when you put your child out there, you know, it's almost like they're out there. Exactly, you know, there's nothing that's protecting them. And I just want to touch on the issue of drugs and whatnot. I want to say that with the pressures that come with being in the entertainment industry, some people use drugs and alcohol use as a way to cope, you know, as a coping mechanism, because the pressure is so much. It's a maladaptive way to cope, yes, but they use it because sometimes they just want to escape the reality. You know, they want to take something and use it as a crutch so that they can just escape the realities of their lives, because sometimes it really just gets too much.
Sure.
Nkosi, let me come to you right now. Ungene industry at what age?
I've been doing drama classes, but I got my first gig 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
And how old were you?
2010, I was 16.
You met
16, 15.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. 16, 15, yeah.
And at that age, let's look at your money. Is your money or your money parents' money or family money?
Well, the agent ripped me off, first of all. So basically, like, vele, accounts, vele, like, my parents dealt with most of my money up until I was 18.
Tell us about this agent.
Now, you know, when you start, you're a kid, go to an audition, you don't even know how much you're getting for a call, just sign a contract.
Yeah.
You're just excited, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't get paid, you're just excited. Yo,
On
TV.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Perhaps you can comment on that and just give us a little bit, Horna, the money. How do these child stars handle the money? Who should be handling their money? What does the law actually say?
Yes. So, the money is not their parents, first of all.
It's not their parents' money?
It's not their parents' money.
Okay.
They have worked for this money. They've put in the hours. The parents are the custodian of the money, right? They are a minor, so they can't handle finances. They know nothing about finances, right? But the issue and the problem is that the parents themselves have never been exposed to financial literacy.
Yeah.
Right? So how do you manage money well when you have never had financial literacy education yourself, right? So I would say for parents of child stars, when you see the interest in your child, start educating yourself about money. You know, start educating yourself about the industry and saying, you know what, how are we going to manage this money? And we all know, right, being in the entertainment industry is not like a one-way thing. It's never the crazy, right?
Yeah.
So you know that perhaps there won't be as frequent jobs, right? And if this child, like you said, the example you made earlier, if they do want to branch out into other studies, how are you going to fund that? So you have to have some sort of plan for this child.
You know, when you talk about this, how do you manage situations? Mzambia and Msava have mentioned something, but we woke up one day and you were trending on social media, and in a situation like that, how do you deal with it?
To be honest with you, it was the first time for me ever going through something like that. So I didn't have the answers to that. I still don't have the answers. I just handled it in a way where I thought, you know what, if maybe I can just let it blow over, because ngiyazi ukuthi mina kwenzakaleni akuyona into abayibhalile, maybe izovela idlule. But you see the problem with that, the problem the problem with that is, yes, some people know ukuthi we know ukuthi there's more to it than that, but then abanye bayithatha ngalendlela ukuthi hey njoba bayibhale emaphepheni njalo. So when it comes to your work, vele, you know, you start getting called in the office, you know, okay manje kwenzeka into sona so asali, maybe you didn't do into sona so, but the perception, the stigma is that you did. So now we can't, you know, as in you can't continue until such a time where this thing blows over. So that's where I want to go back to what they were saying earlier on, which is very important to also have amayama backups. Like we said, this thing doesn't last forever. So mangabe it happens, in situation in jail, it happens when, what do you live on? How do you survive? What did you learn out of it? Because so many people will say maybe it's a crowd or abantu that also pila nabo. What was the lesson out of it? I think for me it was a very, because I was 21 at the time. It happened last year, but it was a stage in my life where a lot of changes were happening. I was becoming an adult officially. I was at a stage where they're not good for me, and you know, so it was a learning experience as a whole. Besides just being in the media industry, but just for my personal life as well, to remove certain people and certain things from my life, because. What's that saying? But you are judged by, you know, the company that you keep. So it was a big lesson for me as well. Cool stuff. Sure.
We do have Abuti Mzambia's teacher on the line. Hello, Papa.
Hi, how are you,
Mama? Hello, Mommy.
I just want to say hi to Mzambia. I taught Mzambia from grade 8 up to 10 EMS and business.
Yes, this is Madam Ma'am.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I love you too.
Beali Bianco classing Zambia.
Zambia was very cool, calm, dedicated to his work.
Yeah.
His work was always up to date.
Ah, lovely. Thank you so much, man.
I love you too, man. We'll come see you very soon.
How much did you pay? You know,
this is Madam. I haven't seen her in ages, man.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, for her to call and say so many nice things, you know, it makes me very emotional. I think I must go check her out very soon.
I think we'll go Chabula as well. We're going to perform on Thetha. So I'm going to break in February after this.
Welcome to our Child Stars episode. We are speaking about them, celebrating them, and just looking into a little bit about their lives. But just a quick question for Wana Ausikanya, especially for young child stars from South Africa. It always feels like for them to go into the adult world, they need to re-establish themselves and show that they're adults. Then it's like normally pressure, a bikini, a bikini picture, like an assertion type of act movement. What is that about?
I guess it's just how the industry looks at you. Like you said, you mentioned earlier, but there's sort of an entitlement because you know. So for me, I guess it's just give it time. Yes, you are transitioning. I'm working a lot with Candace now. She's also a YoTV presenter, and she will come every now and again to Selima Tunes, and she was saying she's having the same thing, the same struggle. But for me, what I would say is just stay true to your craft. If you're really good and you're really talented, which you are, you're eventually going to book the job that's right for you. I mean, I don't think you need to.
You're acting out.
Yes, yes. I don't think you need to like branch out and do things that aren't really like who you are. I mean, it'll come in its right time, I think.
Let's come to Clementine on this side. Sesizovala nje ngifuna ukwazi kuwena sisi ukuthi iziphi izinto ocabanga ukuthi umzali kumele ayiqaphele kanye nomntwana as well, especially bafuna ukuba kwi-limelight early.
Okay, all right. I think you need to be very, very vigilant as parents. And I think we are all assuming that as parents, we are all supportive of children who want to become child stars. There are parents who are actually not so supportive. I think the examples that we've had on the show today are quite positive. You know, parents were there, they were supportive, but you have children who want to be in this lifestyle who have parents who are not so supportive. But when you do have a parental unit that is supporting this, it's very important to guide your child. It's very important to also be on the lookout in terms of their behavior, in terms of things that they do. When you see your child isolating themselves, when you see them spending too much time in their bedroom, talk to them. You need to be very, very open because these children are exposed to so much and their sense of self hasn't even fully developed yet. They don't have a self-concept at that age. They still developing. So they're impressionable. They're seeking validation from outside. So that's why earlier on I had said that the boundaries need to be set at home. You need to validate your child. You need to be fully aware because the other, I think, scary part of all of this is that as child stars, sometimes they can grow up to develop psychological disorders. Things like depression because of rejection. Like you were talking about earlier on, there's so much rejection in the industry. People can develop things like anxiety. So it's very important for you as a parent. And when you can see that your child is drowning, when you can see that your child is not okay, they're not themselves, seek help.
What about that self-rejection? I think Kanya spoke about it. She had to get to the point where she realized, I am booking other gigs. So it's not as if I cannot talent there. How do they deal with self-rejection?
You know what, it's so difficult, Nicolette, because like I said, their sense of self is not fully developed. So their coping mechanisms are not where they should be. As an adult would be able to deal with those kinds of problems. So that is why, as a guardian, as a parent, it's very important for you to be aware of your child's behavior, you know. And the self, I think child stars are very hypercritical of themselves. So there's an element of criticism that always comes in, you know, and when you're a child, you're not always aware of these things, or you don't have the language to express it, you know. But if you do have a parental system that is supportive and that can be aware of these things, I think that would also help.
Right.
Maparo, in closing, umntwana omncane at the age of 14, 15, esegwazi ukuthola imali as well. Some of the parents, they can't even say no to umntwana imali engayisebenzelanga. How do then ngimfundise umntwana about money engazithola se-expose into efana about alcohol and drugs?
So I think first of all, as a parent, you must set some boundaries, right? And boundaries with money also apply. So, for example, if the child is going to earn 5,000, split it in half and say, you know what, the half of it we're going to put towards either a unit trust or a tax-free savings account, some sort of savings or investment to make sure that they will have something later. I know someone mentioned that sometimes, they use the funds to take them to auditions and that sort of thing. So you do have funds that are operating to make sure that they get to auditions and that sort of thing, but save and invest for later.
I really want to ask the child stars, Guti, there are some parents who push their kids even when the child doesn't have talent.
But ngenela umiss what uyabona.
But for those who are talented, the top 3 things, this is my advice to those who are coming into the industry.
I think I'm just gonna, reiterate what everyone's been saying.
Yeah.
Never focus on one thing.
Okay.
And this is regardless of which industry or not. Yeah. I've always believed in doing a lot of things because I'm interested in a lot of things. So I think when okay, I'm gonna try acting, let me also try a bit of presenting, let me also try a bit of directing. Yeah. Maybe somewhere, somehow I'm gonna fall into what I want to do through not and yeah.
In the same breath, I always say, make the main thing the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You can't, you haven't even established yourself as an actress. You just booked maybe a support role and you're ready now. I want to do radio. You haven't actually even honed the craft.
Yes.
So before Tateke about, okay, I want to be an it girl, I'm going to do my own line of shoes. Yeah. Make the main thing the main thing. Make that why you are known, why you're popular, why you're famous.
Oh, okay. But the street kids, because
especially youth, man. Thank you guys. We are going to have a great performance. Hey.
Hashtag 20 years later, baba. Some be social media, ma cool, don't see much of a cool. Yes. Sababa yo, thinking gasho, wavuka amashosi wabancane indawo nobathusi kodwa sephelile amandla wavuka ugobela wendawo athina amashosi angendawo simbi indaba kwaphunza edlemeli usikodwa uphethe umfuka edlameli Kula bekikwe, twele, manini, nenge, puti manini, nenge, scoop sasha, kula bekikwe, twele, manini, nenge, puti manini, nenge, scoop sasha, Eples, Kumani, just love me, Spumelina, Nasasona, Emashona, Esoweto, Scoop sasha, Eples, Kumani, just love me, Spumelina, Nasasona, Emashona, Esoweto. Useluma, you want to want to mass. God, you must swim. God, I'm a